Yes, you're welcome to this powerful tutorial where we'll be covering everything about text in CapCut. So first import your footage, can be a photo or a video which you're going to use. When it is highlighted like so, you have to see the word text. If you can't see it, then tap on this arrow here in the corner, on the bottom corner, to be able to see that text word. Tap on it until when there are no more arrows, so you can see it's here, text on the bottom. Tap it, then you get a prompt of add text, so you tap it to add text. For this case, I think we'll go with something simple like freedom. So you type it here, freedom, just like that. Now the first thing we need is styles. Everything we need is going to be in styles. So fonts appear first. You can see they're highlighted. You can choose any font, and then next you choose the text. Text is the real appearance of the text or the word freedom. The default setting or color of text is white. Now you can pick on these circles here of the different colors. You can pick black, orange, yellow, whatever text that you choose. That's one way to set the color of the text that you have typed on your video or on your photo. Or you can come on this color wheel here. As you can see, it has a different color if you want to create your own color. So when you move this circle around, just tap with your finger. Here is black, here is light pink and everything. You can also adjust it from the bottom here if you want a different color. Like here it's green, and then you move the different circle here. You want white or dark green or something like that of any kind. So that's how you adjust. Then you click on the tick at the bottom here to apply the settings or the color that you have made on your own if you are satisfied with that color. So that's how you set the color of that particular text. Now I'll just have to comment on this. Also, there is size down here when you scroll. That's how you adjust the size. I can use my fingers to do so, but you can slide it as so to increase the size of the text that you have chosen. Let us go with white for you to see very what I'm doing here. So size, you increase to the right, becomes big, to the left becomes small. Here I'm using my fingers now, pinching on the text, on the real word. But now there's also opacity over here. Opacity is how transparent the word is. If you want it to be not too transparent, you adjust this, or if you want it to be transparent, you do the same, adjust with opacity, just like so. I'm just trying with different colors so that you see clearly what I'm trying to mean, or the words as they're reducing. The next in line is stroke. Stroke is the boundary of the word. For example, here the stroke is orange, you change it different colors. That's the boundary of the word itself. So that's the stroke we want. You can adjust it the same way we did in the text. Go on the color wheel, pick on the timeline here down, let's say red or any color, light blue, make it thick, make it dark, or all that. Or you can choose from any of these circles here. And here we can adjust the width to be thick or tiny like this, whatever works for you on the particular project that you're working on. So that's it about styles, and it's a cool thing to use. Next in line is glow. Obviously, as you know, or as it sounds, glow is basically making it shine. So we can increase on the intensity here, make it a little intense, or we can work on the bottom one, the range at which it's glowing. Like, how wide is it? Is it wide enough, like so, or do you want it to be glowing to a particularly lower range? So the range is how wide the word is going to cover. So that's it about glowing. Next we go to background. I love this one. Background, tick this, pick one of these for the background, and then I will choose any color for the background. For example, right, it's black. Now white, gray, any color that you choose. Yellow looks cool. I love that. So yeah, any color that you choose for background will work for you depending on the particular project you're working on. And then as you scroll down, there are different settings you can work on. For example, here there is more space on the right than on the left. But looking on the opacity is how transparent, as we mentioned earlier, the background is going to be. So if it's on the right, it's not transparent. If it's on the left, transparent. Next is corner radius. That's how the corners are going to be. Here they are rounded, but if you go to the left, they are not rounded. On the right, they become more rounded. So again, depending on what you want your corners to look like, rounded or not. Next in line is the height. If you have more words to put, like in a quote, you will need a height which is big, but if it's one word like this, a small height. Another one is width. If you want it to be large or small, work on that. Now on the y-axis, which is from up to bottom, you can move using y offset, just like this, if you want the background to be offset. And the x offset is from left to right, just like so, depending on what you want your whatever to look like. So here, if you want it to balance, just put it at 0, or if you want it to be a little bit to the right, depending on the design you are working on, whatever works for you. So that is it about background. Next is shadows. Shadows are a cool way to make a word stand out. So a shadow, you can use opacity here if you want it to be transparent or not transparent. Adjust with opacity, just the same way that we did earlier. You do the same thing. After opacity, you can work with the next one, which is blur. A good color would work. Blur is how smoky, I can use the word smoky, the word is, or around it is. Same thing with this distance. How far do you want it to be from the word, the shadow? Do you want it to be on the word or far? Angle, do you want it on the left, right, top, bottom? Work around with the angle of the shadow where you want it to be. So that's it about shadow. Next is curve, but problem is we can't curve. As you can see, we can't curve if we have things like background or all those things. So we have to go back and remove those things. You can't curve a background, so I have to come back and remove my background if I want to curve this. So right now it can curve because there is no background, and that's our curve. Looks nice. You can bend it like this into U or whatever curve you want to use. Yeah, it's a cool thing to use on different things like thumbnails or projects or designs that you want. So yeah, but remember, it can't work if there is a background on the image. That is it for the curve. On the right, makes it form an N. On the left, U. Next is spacing. So this increases the size as usual, scaling. But also, if you press on these lines down, if they're pointing down, the word points down. If they're pointing on the right, the word is normal, just like so. Yeah, now character spreads out each individual character. Each word is called a character, each letter I mean. So when you spread it out, yes, the character spread out like that. So that is it basically about the spacing, space out the different characters. Okay, next in line is bold italic. I usually use this a lot. If you want to make it bold, as you can see, off on, becomes bolder, not tiny, even if it's capitalized. This one makes it italic. Bend it a little bit to the right, and this one's supposed to be underlined, but it can't work because we use some other things that we're not supposed to use. We'll go back and remove those. For example, here we used curving and it can't underline. The straight line we're supposed to make a curve can't work when it's curved. Now, if you come here and we just reduce this, it won't work. Why? Because the curve is still on. You see, the underline U is not highlighted. It can't work. So you have to go back and actually switch this off by pressing this to this. Just press it off here to remove the curve completely off. That way, when we go back to our underlined side, don't forget, if you move out accidentally, go back to style, and then yeah, be able to find it. So going back to bold italic, our U should be highlighted here. So the line is underlined, but it couldn't earlier because you can't curve that line. It's supposed to be a straight line. That's why it didn't work earlier. That's how you can do that. But an interesting thing is you can put all these together, bold, italic, and also underline, 3 in 1. Another one is case, uppercase, lowercase, or start with a capital letter and the rest are small. Just play around with this. They're just cool things to work with. A bonus is you can use just these different made up styles. The background is there, everything stroke, if you don't want to waste time. But yeah, if you want to make your own style and format,